I think it's about forging relationships with everyone because you want them to do well. You can be happy for their successes. And I'm hoping that's why they put the nomination down, but certainly that's what I aspire to.
I could just keep that in there and go.
Here we are in a car park.
Yeah,
lights on.
Don't come knocking. The van's rocking.
Did you put a sock on the windscreen?
I hung a pineapple on the door.
That's the one. So yeah, that kind of introduces things. So we are sat in the fun bus.
Yeah.
In Little Down car park. We didn't actually plan on doing a pod this week, did we? Because there's so much going on individually. But it kind of worked out that all three of us are playing football this evening. So we decided to get together to do a little bit of a shorter pod. We do have an interview that I've been able to capture with one of the guys that's been nominated for an award.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that and play that out as well at the end.
Which is good.
Well, without our traditional welcome back, this has got an interesting. I didn't get to just cut it and pause it and then go welcome back.
We can add it now. Do it now.
No. I
Go on,
like it like
do it
this.
now.
No intro.
Just throw it in now.
Bit of freestyle. Go on.
Welcome back to the Lose to Win podcast. Well,
Nice,
that's
there you go.
for 50 seconds or a minute after we've already started.
Does it make you feel better?
No, it does not. Oh no. An interesting pod this week, yeah, as you say.
It's quite surreal all being in the same room.
Yeah.
It is. I don't think we've ever done.
We never.
We've
done the interviews when we were at the awards, when
Yes.
we were all together, but that's the only time.
Yeah.
Josh and I have done it from here, and you've been digitally with us. But
Yeah.
the first time.
Well, here we go then.
Not quite how we planned it to be, but it's worked out, isn't it?
A bit of a laugh.
Good. I was going to say we've already laughed more than the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh no, but might be a slightly. I don't know if it'll be shorter. Well, I mean, we obviously we're here in decent time, aren't we? We've got some time, and
I'm ready to go.
as Jack said, we've got some. Jack managed to get a nice interview with someone who we couldn't unfortunately
Who
get
is
on the
it?
pod.
Who have we got?
So it's Tim. So Tim has been nominated for the Wellbeing Award.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Tim from Gloucester.
Correct. Yeah, Tim from
Nice.
Gloucester. Yeah. So he doesn't know who's nominated him.
Okay.
Oh.
And the chances are, he does reference in the interview as well, the chances are it's probably more than one person. Because to get through to being shortlisted, it takes more than one to do it. So, yeah, he and his wife will be joining us in London.
Happy
so
days.
we shall
Very
meet
good.
him and have a drink with him and chew the fat. But obviously we've got to try and pin down Merce. I don't know if last time they had the guy from the Traitors, didn't they? I don't know if they got anybody extra like that.
I don't know. They've not said
I
anything.
think they release it a little bit closer if they've got any other speakers. But
Well, I think he was only there though because the Traitors were not long finished, was it? And
No.
he was doing basically a tour about his life and his circumstances and his take on mental health. And I think that was obviously ticked quite a lot of boxes for them. So
absolutely,
I don't know. Well,
he was
hopefully-
rushed though, bless him. When he could have, like you said, he could have been up there for an hour
he normally
longer.
does like 45 minutes, and then he got given like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
He was good. I liked him.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very good. Well, it's a shame he had to rattle through it so quickly, wasn't it? Really.
I'm sure there's a celebrity Traitors coming soon.
There is.
I keep hearing rumours of
I
some
did
of the people
apply
that
for
are
the
in
new
it.
series of the Traitors.
Did you? I considered doing it the last time, but
Yeah, I have not heard anything, unfortunately.
no. That'd be so cool seeing somebody you know on there, wouldn't it?
I couldn't help it.
And you wouldn't be able to tell anybody what's happened either, would
No,
you?
you can't say a thing.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to even come to football.
Yeah, no.
Everybody would be on you, like,
Well, no,
what happened, wouldn't they?
Yeah. You're not allowed to tell anyone.
No, of course you're not.
You're not allowed to tell anyone. You just have to vanish for 4 weeks.
Embargoed.
Yeah.
So if I vanish for 4 weeks, in September,
We know where you've gone.
Just turn up to weigh in with a cloak. Not allowed to talk to anybody. Cloak on, weigh in, off he goes again. But yeah, the people I've heard rumoured to be on that, like Ramesh Ranganathan.
Is he?
I'd love to see him on that. I think he'd be brilliant.
There'll be loads of
I
names
find him
being thrown
hilarious.
around, though, won't there?
You've also got Celebrity Big Brother coming up as well, which I think is not. They're more like Z-listers now or reality stars, but there are some people on. A bit of a random one about TV. But have you seen the Amazon Prime Last to Laugh?
No, I'd seen a little clip of it.
but
It looks
I've
quite
seen-
funny.
yeah, I've seen
My
some.
God,
Bob Moore. I've seen the Bob
Bob
Moore's
Morse
clips.
where he's singing.
He is so deadpan though, isn't he?
Yeah, he would be the worst for me, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
like there's a bit in it that I won't ruin it for anybody. There's a bit in it where he's singing a song that he's made to Daisy May Cooper, and for the people in the room, she sat there like trying so hard not to laugh, and it's such a Bob Mortimer kind of song. Yeah. And it finishes, and she's like, "Is that it?" He's like, "Nope." Presses start again. He's got another one. So the idea is that they try and stitch each other up and make each other laugh.
That's right. Yeah.
And some of the things that some of them have laughed at has been where they've just combusted. They got to a point where they couldn't. It wasn't even funny what had happened. Yeah. But they got to a point where they couldn't not laugh. Yeah. But honestly, I'd highly recommend it. I rattled through the first few episodes, and I think the next lot comes out on Thursday.
Yeah. Very Prime?
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, apart from our plugs for the TV shows that we all enjoy, how have you guys been? All right?
Yes, hectic. With probably the hardest week in a long time last week. With Doggate eating the sock. Yeah. That thankfully arrived Tuesday morning just as I was putting my shoes on to take him to.
Did it?
No. I was putting my shoes on.
He vomed it up.
I was putting my shoes on to take him to the vets to have an X-ray. The X-ray wouldn't have shown us where it was, but they'd be able to tell if it's displaced any of his organs, and that will give you an idea where it is. Put my shoes on here, and then I was like, "Oh my god!" And ran to the kitchen. There it was. I was like, "Thank God for that." He is insured, but it's an insurance you pay up front, and it's just something we didn't need.
How did you know he'd swallowed it then?
Yeah, so Friday nights, because I always stay quite late anyway. I think we were the last game anyway. Got home late, and underneath our TV in the back room, we've got like a heated area. Yeah. And I'd taken my socks and my knee brace off and just put that there. Had my dinner, and then what I'd do is I'd scoop it off of there and chuck it in the wash basket on the way to bed. Yeah. And I'd forgotten to do it. I came down in the morning to do it, and the sock was missing. And I was like hunting high and low.
Meaty.
Yeah. Football sock. It wasn't a football sock. It was like a normal trainer sock, but it was one I played football in. And then we've got a Ring dog camera. Yeah. And he takes it to his bed, and he's choking while he's fucking eating it, the idiot. I'm like, surely that's enough of an indicator to tell you not to eat something like that.
Dog's the thing. My boss's dog does that. He eats socks. She eats socks. She's had to have a knock before.
Thank God it didn't get to that. The only time he's done it before have been Taylor's socks, my daughter's socks, and they are tiny.
Yeah, fair.
In comparison to mine. So we really panicked, and we took him Monday, and I felt sorry because I kind of gave the vet a bit of a grilling. But he basically said, I can't, if he's still eating... He's not running a temperature, he's still eating, he's still pooing, everything's fine. He said, "Are you sure he's eating it?" And I'm like, "I've seen it on the camera. Yes, he's eating it." And he's like, "Come back tomorrow and we'll X-ray him." And that was 65 quid for him to tell me that. You never see a poor vet, do you?
You certainly don't.
And then work stuff, it's just been absolutely manic. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster of a week, but we're all good.
Has it affected your weight, do you think?
No, I lost 0.9. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, to be honest. I thought it was going to be above 1, but I was happy with that. I did put on the week before, which knocked me out of my Grace week for Last Man Standing, but I still had, because I had that, I'm still in. And yeah, if that week doesn't make me put weight on, I've got no excuse for any other week.
Fair.
So
that's good though, that.
No,
yeah, I'm really happy with it. I wonder if the stress caused it or whatever, but it's normally the other way with me. If I'm stressed, I tend to hold on to it and eat more. But yeah, what about you boys?
Oh, not too bad. I managed to lose weight last week, which was good. Lost half a kilo, so that was
nice.
Good. Nice. I don't think I will probably have a loss this week, sadly. Bit of a stressful weekend. I won't go into too much detail, but we had a bit of an emergency over the weekend with my father-in-law, which was a little bit stressful. So, my missus had to run down to Eastbourne. They live over Eastbourne way, so she had to go down there at very short notice. Hence why, unfortunately, I wasn't able to join for the 11s.
Yeah. You would have made the difference. Killer difference.
Maybe. The woodwork would have got a rattling.
From 2 yards.
Wasn't that close. No, I was gutted, though. Absolutely gutted. Especially as I was driving one of the cars, and I was like, oh, my God, there's 6 boys. But
it all worked out in the end, didn't it? Tomo stepped up and he took the transport in the end, did he?
No, he took his brother's car.
Oh, okay, I do.
I mean, they're pretty good. They just, as long as you swap the reg,
they didn't even care. They didn't even care. He just pulled up and said, "This is not a reg we registered." Yeah, it's fine. It's under this, and they got a ticket.
Pages on here, yeah. The only thing is, I was worried about is something this size. They try to clobber you, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
So so unfortunate, but and I was gutted to miss it. But sounds like you had a good day.
It was. Yeah, it was good fun. I guess we can talk about that for a while, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So. Went to the Isle of Wight. We're one of the few teams who actually went over there, so they were very thankful.
Don't get many,
they were very thankful that we actually made the trip.
It's really hard for us to say no, really, and it seems we are literally
even
just
with,
across the water.
And even with Sid having his unfortunate tyre burst out, we made the kick-off and all was fine, and the lads there were really helpful in trying to
just really quickly, thank you for everybody that donated for that.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got Sid some money towards
we
it.
said immediately when he told us like what it's going to be, we were all on the sideline. Look, we'll all chip in, mate. So, So and then alas, you put something out. Sorry.
How much did he say it was going to be? I never actually.
It was £100 call out.
175 total it was basically, I think. So 100 call out plus 75 but he was just happy to get some cover from people.
Dave,
and it's very nice for the community to really.
The moment we saw it, Dave messaged me saying, "Put a shout out." Make sure.
Well, everyone was thinking the same thing, and that's just a great thing about the community, isn't it? Because immediately we know that's just. But in terms of the game,
good game.
Yeah, it was a good game, really good competitive game, and I think it's not. That's not being unfair. I don't think we played the best we could have played, but we gave them a good game, and I don't think we were. I think we could have easily won the game just as much as we lost it in the end. It's
a good indicator where we are. Bear in mind that when we saw them at the last awards, they were saying they had a quarter final. Was it? I think.
Yeah. I think we're really up there. I genuinely think we're up there.
I think where we were, Ben, from that Portsmouth game. At Wimbledon when they smashed us like 11-1 or something.
Yeah. So it was just a good, well done competitive game. There was nothing really untoward. There was obviously the standard, bit of moaning at the ref per decision, but the ref was good across the game, I thought.
The highlights were really good, actually. I quite liked it.
It was just.
I was quite enjoying your commentating on the sidelines.
Oh, was I saying stuff? Was I?
What's Josh? Who's he talking about?
Yeah,
all I was. I keep telling him, but he don't listen to me.
Yes, Robbo probably. Yeah. I said this to him to his face as well, so it's not like he's not missing anything.
I'd quite like to see the full edit to see what was said.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Every single time I got the ball from Adam at the centre back, I couldn't look to my left because Robbo was halfway up the field. He's already gone. No, bless him. He was brilliant as well. Everyone put a real shift in, and it was just really good to get the guys over and over that. And then we had a pint with a couple of guys as well afterwards on the way back.
Did they put a bit of grub on at the pub or anything?
No. Although there was a pasty eating contest when we walked in, which was quite funny.
We're here on time.
Yeah, the locals were absolutely gobsmacked till a bunch of fat lads walked through the door. I'm just like, whoa,
Jesus Christ, shit! We're back in this one, lads.
Well, we walked past them, thankfully, to the bar.
Derek's not going to retain his crown for the 12th year on the Shrub. Josh from Bournemouth stepped up.
It was just a good day out in the end. Yeah, really. Apart from a couple of perhaps.
Weather was alright as well, wasn't it? I know originally we thought it was going to be wet, but
then it started raining when we came back, so it was really nice. It's just a long day, isn't it?
But you got the earliest ferry back, didn't you? 4:30.
Yeah, 4:30 was the early ones we get. So that was nice. So really good game, really good, and I didn't get to speak to them at the time about whether they'd be willing to come over to us.
I'll speak to Colin. I'm sure
we'll have a discussion because obviously, we'd love them to come here.
If we can
find some pictures in the summer.
Yeah, he's mentioned it before about wanting to make a weekend. Well, not a weekend of it, but a night out. Some of them will stay over and and have a few beers and whatever. And availability as of May, I've already seen that we can get from the 25th of May onwards, Sundays are available, Sunday mornings are available.
Cool.
So we can really start having some people over and getting some booked in and enjoying that availability. But sounds great, mate.
Yeah, the only thing was, just trying to think what I was going to say.
Whilst you're thinking, Mark messaged me. Mark, bless him. He's goalkeepers are a different breed, aren't they? Because I think him and Ryan are overthinkers with things and worry about their performance and everything. And bless him, he messaged me saying, their last goal shouldn't have counted. The guy kicked out of my hands, and I could see from the footage it definitely looked like he had two hands in it, and it's just one of those things. But it did make me laugh because I did see in the first couple for their first goal, he basically took their striker's head off. I After 6 back pass.
Yeah, it's one of these where it wasn't actually a back pass, but Mark didn't know it was a back pass.
Too much
he was like, he
referees
didn't
at
want
that
to
point
pick it
should
up.
be saying it.
Yeah, that's what the Isle of Wight guys did turn around and say the ref should be shouting. That's
you
okay.
can have
You can
that.
pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was going to say was they were talking about the league, and obviously, as you can imagine, travelling to Isle of Wight, they're in this league. And they kept asking us if we're going to enter this league, obviously for
but
the next season.
Right the way
they've
up
got
to
3 leagues now, but they
go up north to Oxford or somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say they make loads of travel, and no one ever wants to go to them, so they get them in forfeit matches half the time because often people come over and
that's how they got to the quarters then.
That's a fair.
We're not that good.
No, but bless them though. It must be really difficult.
It must be really hard, but fair play to them.
Do have a couple of teams though, so I imagine they get some games together. But
fair play to them for even trying.
Yeah. They're saying they only have one 3G pitch on the island, and that's the one we played on. So
I thought they had a couple over there.
No, they only got the one, and but it was free all Sunday afternoon, so it mustn't be
not so many teams.
Easier for us, easier for them to get over there.
Yeah, they're astonished when we were saying we really struggled to get pitches. Like, surely not, come on. But no. That's just how it is. But no, it was good, and I really thank everyone for coming along as well. It's a good day, and
well
done, it's really good, and it's good to have the numbers we can take. It's not even that we had the original numbers; we had people who could step up in place of people. And
the commitment for away games is so important with it because we have to do both, don't we? We can't just be a team that's seen to be playing at home all the time.
No.
And you think again back in the day when we were having to pull Louis and Jamie in to help us to make the numbers up. We're not at that position now.
But also, don't forget from a fitness point of view as well. When we first started, we didn't have that many players who were fit enough to run around an 11s.
Or had even played much 11s. You got players like Gareth and Lewis playing.
Well, I was going to say, we had Robbo, Sid, Gareth, Lewis. Those 4 alone can run for days. Absolutely days. And then you've got everyone else in the team who's got a decent engine as well. Yeah.
So, I remember playing teams like us when we started.
It was good. And so we have more. That's 3 consecutive away games in a row now. We played. So
I managed to not be available for any of them.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, as we said, it's good to get commitment for away games.
Awkward. Done, mate.
Anyway, shall we move into roundup from last week? If I can read it from here.
Go on, give it a go.
Yeah, I'm going to get closer. It's going to be louder anyway. So there was a slight improvement on the collective weight loss from last week, 17.4 kilos this time, but a much better performance in terms of the number of players moving in the right direction. So 62 turned up to face the scales, with 47 losing weight. That's not too bad.
Not too bad
at all. Last week's dip in form was well and truly put right, with most of the losers enjoying steady, sustainable progress. Even better, no fewer than 4 players have milestones to celebrate. I wonder what I'm trying to think, just randomly, what
milestone count.
Yeah, a milestone count would be, or indeed what our record is.
For highest milestones in a week? In 1 week?
1 week. That as well, obviously. That in season anyway. I think last season we broke the record anyway, didn't we? I can't remember.
I think
Could be wrong. Steve will probably correct me.
We'll find out at the awards night, maybe.
Yeah. We're getting them most weeks, aren't we? We're getting at least one most weeks.
Yeah. Well done, everyone, anyway. So we're back in the groove as such. So the results from last week, us Yellows got our first points on the board.
Well done, mate.
Winning 7-6 against the Greens.
Do you know what it was, mate? It was the tights.
Yeah. The white ones this time.
You're going to have to wear them. What sort of Ryan's highlights on Instagram? You stick out like a sore thumb wearing them.
Has he got highlights? I'm going to have to message him about this.
He puts some. You must not have him. He puts. Tom Marks puts his GoPro up.
And
in the back. Ryan puts his Instagram.
I didn't know that. I'll have to catch it because he's been recording all the games in, so I'll have to.
Well, Tom Marks always does.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
and Ryan does a few down here. Normally, he's only on Thursdays at the moment, isn't he? I think he does the Thursdays. But
I didn't realise that. I'll have to get see how much we stick out for a game anyway.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, it was good. It was well fought and good team effort really overall. So it's good. We had a ringer as well.
Just the one though this time, which makes
just the one.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
who did you play?
We played the Greens, so we won 4-0 on the pitch.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a good result.
Really strong.
And, they're a strong team.
And then obviously 4-2 technically because of the ringers. But
yeah.
As we'll get to, I'm sure further along because this time I did read it, Steve. Before we, I know we'll get to it. Anyway, your Blues, Jack, won 19-11 against the Reds. The Oranges continue to kick on, clawing back some goal difference, 24, as in 22-4 against the Whites. And then the Blacks won 12-9 against your Purples, unfortunately, Benjamin.
Yeah, that was non-bloody Lewis, that was. I'd worked out the figures, and I'd said in the chat, actually, I was pretty confident. As long as we didn't get dicked on the pitch, we stood a good chance, as long as they didn't get a milestone.
Yeah.
So the remit was to stay within 1 or 2 goals on the pitch, and I thought we had a good chance.
I had a feeling he was close as well.
Yeah, I didn't even know, but bless. I mean, fair play. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
No. That's the way to win it. We
did what we tried. We had 6.
What was
we
the
played
pitch
as a
score?
6, 2-0 on the pitch.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty good. You were 6v7, weren't you, the whole game?
6v7.
Yeah.
And we kept second half. We kept a clean sheet. First half, we let in a couple of goals, but there's not much we could do about either.
That's really well done.
We did what we set out to do. It just Lewis got his milestone, so fair play.
I had a feeling when I heard that you were going with 6 and they were sticking with 7. I thought you were the guys that might have had a milestone,
right?
To kind of to take a ringer.
We
when
didn't want to take a ringer. Well, we knew we'd be close because we got 3 guys in. Maintenance, so that's worth a milestone. Do you know what I mean?
Of course it is.
So as long as enough people lose weight and you got the LMS goals in play, we knew it was going to be close.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd give it a go, and unfortunately we didn't quite make it. But we gave it our best shot.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was a really good effort actually. I didn't even really notice you had 6 players, to be honest.
I was fucking knackered after. My legs felt it.
Yeah.
Good game.
Anyway, no one lost more weight than the Blacks last week.
Okay.
So they're 8.6 kilos, made up the 6 losers of the 8 players who weighed. The Reds lost 5.5 kilos, with all 6 attending players achieving a loss. The Blues were almost as consistent, with 8 out of 10 players contributing to a 4.4 kilo loss.
Nice.
So very good going. Your Blues then and the Oranges remain locked together in the title race. It took a milestone to defeat plucky 6-man Purples, as you mentioned, who have now fallen 3 points behind the leading pair, unfortunately. Yeah. Despite the heightened tension at the top of the table, the team achievement of the day came elsewhere. It's been a long and frustrating season for us, I should say the Yellows. But this week, we finally got a taste of victory. A 4-2 pitch win, converted to a narrow 7-6 win, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, well done, mate.
So they'll be dancing in the streets of Al Fatihland this week. That's Steve's line, that's not mine. I shouldn't really point it out, really, because he gets to marvel in the fact that it's his line. He's just read back to him. Apologise again, Steve, for ruining it. The race for individual honours is just as competitive. So Matt Waterman has 20 goals, seems certain to win the top scorers race.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? He's still losing weight.
It's unreal. He's in maintenance, isn't he? He's still losing weight. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because he wants to retain his last man standing title.
Yeah. Well, that's a good.
So he'd win back-to-back last man standing titles.
That'd be
by keeping his grey sweep.
Yeah, that'd be extremely impressive. As well.
He's got. I think that comes up in it, but Josh and H are still in it with grey sweeps as well.
Yeah.
Well, because he's started the season in maintenance, however, we'll also be recognising the highest scoring non-maintenance player. Currently, Josh Buxton and Harry Reid are tied on 14.5 goals, with Lewis Vasilina-Turner just behind on 14.
Fair play.
So
I'm in the top 10.
What, of total weight loss?
No, of the top scorers.
Top scorers.
That's good. That shows consistency, mate.
Top 10.
That's good.
Because the hat-tricks have been coming when they're meant to come.
Yeah.
And continuously. That's not even, obviously, last man standing goals don't go into that, do they? Because they're unofficial goals.
That's about that top scorer is about consistency. Week on week, losing weight and turning up.
Honestly, the first time I've been anywhere near doing a whole season last man standing and top 10. So
really well done. Very, very impressive.
Really pushing the kick on.
Yeah, that's really well done, mate. The amazing loser race, based on the percentage loss, as we mentioned, rather than bonus goals, is led by Josh Buxton, who is 11.84% of his body weight. But Sam Bailey, who's lost 10.5%.
Wow. Paul
Harding, who's lost 10.21%. Harry Reid, who's lost 9.21%. And Danny Pidgley, losing 8.99%, are all within striking distance with 3 weeks to play, I would say. Right. That's very good going. A 10% season is usually a good bar, isn't it? Really good bar,
2 milestones in the season.
Yeah.
That's good going.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. I was just thinking it is a 2 milestone season. It's just not necessarily always recorded as a 2 milestone season because of where you start. Yeah. But that's really, really impressive. Yeah. So there are 3 more players that left last man standing, leaving just 10. So the Blues are now the dominant team with 4 survivors compared to 3 for the Oranges and 1 each for the Greens, Blacks and Purples. Another grace week was used, leaving just 2 players with a safety net. Worryingly, not this last week. Worryingly for everyone else, both of them, Josh Buxton and Harry Reid, play for the Blues. So, yeah. Bit of a mad one. Whoever gets them in the rotation.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Buxton, that is.
Well, Harry's not going to carry on.
Is he not?
Yeah, I was reluctant to say that.
No, I'm happy to share it. It doesn't look like he'll be continuing.
Is he not?
No.
Yeah, I think work shift patterns, and I think he's got to a point where he's going to continue to work on it now, but doesn't need the Friday night to do it.
Okay.
So he's going to continue to play football on the Tuesdays at
play.
AFC Bournemouth and
Here,
Sundays here, and then Tuesdays when he can here as well. So
him.
yeah, he smashed it. Absolutely smashed it.
I think there's a few people going to leave.
Yeah, there's a few, but obviously I'm not going to go into it for now.
The sooner Steve knows about that sort of thing now.
Yeah, he'll know, and he's sorting. Well, he's looking at the teams now, and I don't think that's not something he's going to moan at me about in terms of a surprise.
Probably a bit early to ask when they're going to be announced.
I don't think he's going to do it until last week, is he?
I can't give you a definitive on that, but I would just caution you and just say I would guess it's going to be after the end of the season comfortably. What I mean is it'll probably be the first week of that 2-week break, most likely. If I was to guess,
it'd be awesome if he did it at the awards.
I
night.
think he'll be able to do it as early as that.
I wouldn't. That could throw the cat amongst them.
Somebody sat there like
he'll just get dogs abuse. That's a good point.
Now I think about it, probably wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't do that.
Just the whole crowd chatting, wake up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, as I say, probably not that soon. I don't know, but I don't know officially. Anyway, so again, pronouncing his name incorrectly, David Kidska and Paul Whittingham both reached their 5% this week.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Very well done. While Sam Bailey hit his 10% in just 7 weeks at the club. Really That's a phenomenal achievement. But the biggest milestone of the week saw Lewis Vasilina join the prestigious 20% club.
Ben is
Ben's livid.
You can't be upset with Lewis. Okay?
No, not that number as well.
Yeah, amazing. 20. I always think 20%. I think is like one of the biggest milestones you can hit.
Yeah.
Because getting to 15, a lot of people get to 15. 10, 15 is doable. That extra 5%, I think, is a big leap.
It feels like, I don't know because I've actually never been there. I'd have to speak to others in the community who have made it that far.
Yeah.
But I would assume, just in my head, that once you get past that hump of 15 to 20, it feels like you've just smashed through a wall.
Yeah,
if that makes sense on some level. And maybe then the rest comes easier. I'm not saying it will. It's still just as hard, I guess. But we'd have to speak to some people who have done that just to find out if that's definitely true. Because
I think 5 to 10 is fairly doable. I think a lot of people, especially if you really knuckle down and get 5 to 10, not easily. No one's ever said it's easy, but it's quite a lot of people do that.
I think it's that people can do 5 to 10% without necessarily being really consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, like myself, you can drop off and things like this. And whereas to get through 15 and in particular 20%, it proves you had to be consistently doing it, and you've been having to do it for a decent length of time.
Definitely.
For most people to be able to do it, and that's where I'm saying you've probably passed a barrier. You've probably passed through a wall because you've done it for so long now. I guess to get there. I mean, some people do it really quickly.
Some people do.
Josh Buxton would have done it in how many weeks? But less than 20. But it's more just, he's kind of proven again that he's still going, etc. So I think there's an element to that.
Yeah,
at least I would have thought.
So I can't be that upset with him.
No. Well, he's lost 20.6 kilos in his time with us.
Yeah.
And the next target in sight is maintenance for him.
Can't be far off.
No.
Yeah. So very well done to Lewis, Sam, Paul and David, by the way, for your milestones this week. Brilliant. So 18 players completed hat-tricks, and with 3 more weeks, there's still time for this week's heroes to squeeze another one in before the end of the season.
I've got one coming.
Yeah, I think your name was among them this week.
Yeah,
exactly.
So were 4 of us.
Yeah.
So that's our last man standing.
I think to be honest. Unfortunately,
maybe some milestones as well.
Unfortunately, we've got a ringer this week as well. I think we're going to have a ringer penalty.
Maybe. It's a shame.
I might play and score some own goals. Give away a few penalties. Oops, I went in the area.
Craig Drury celebrated a great week for the Blacks by heading up the team of the week with an impressive 3.5 kilo loss.
Brilliant.
Sam Bailey is the only player to retain his place, losing 3.1 kilos, his second consecutive loss of more than 3 kilos.
Yeah,
fair play.
So here's the lineup then. Craig at the top with 3.5 kilos, then Sam Bailey with 3.2. Oscar Selleck-Pilley lost 2 kilos. Tom Davey and David Kidsker lost 1.9 kilos. Chris Spencer lost 1.7, and Kevin Krager lost 1.2.
Fair play. I need to just have a little mention there to Chris, because Chris is a new purple.
Yeah.
And it's he has only played 1 week, and then he injured himself.
He was injured for a bit, yeah.
So he's not played.
I heard him saying about it.
He popped in and weighed in. He's a mate of Ollie's. Ollie's. Ollie on the Blacks.
Yeah, Shearing. Yeah,
Shearing.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to say Shearing.
So he's not played yet. And I don't think he's going to play probably this season because he's crocked himself. I think he's hoping to get back and play for the second season. But fair play, you know.
Amazing.
He's
Good
rocked
work.
up, lost that and got in the team of the week. So fair play.
Well, it's always kind of on some level proof of buy-in, isn't it? If you're coming down there, even though you don't need to be coming down there per se.
James Scott, I keep seeing down there
Scott's
early. He's still doing it and not playing.
Yeah,
he's close to playing. I think a couple more weeks.
Good.
Yeah,
he's got to be careful.
Yeah.
Got
to be careful for our golf holiday. Don't own crops for our golf holiday.
Anyway, so there are 3 more weeks to go before the end of the season and the end of this rotation of teams. So let's go out in style, steadily losing weight and moving towards our respective goals. Even if your team isn't in the title race, you've still got every reason to keep making good choices and drive your weight downwards. Let's make the last 3 weeks the best 3 of the season, wherever possible. So over to us.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, I think sadly our little loss there has tipped us out of the running to retain. Unfortunately, being 3 points behind. I know you still got to play Orange, you still got to play Blues, but like I said, this week I think we're going to struggle for numbers. So Oranges being Oranges, I think
they've got a tough run in, which I can't remember who brought it to our attention, but they've got to play you, they've got to play Blacks, they haven't got us, but they've got somebody else as well. Right. Where out of the top 3, they're obviously playing you and somebody else. We're only playing you in out of that top 3, so we've got a little bit of luck with the way the fixtures have fallen. But
we'll do our best not to tip the goal difference too far, mate.
Yeah, that's it. They close that down every week.
Yeah.
I think they closed it by 6 this week.
Well, they're smashing it, aren't they, on weight? Yeah. They're absolutely smashing the weight loss, which is obviously where you get the extra goals. And when you've got the people in the LMS as well. I mean, I know you've got some, so you're going to be close going right the way through.
Yeah, we've got 4, they've got 3. It's going to be, I think, to our favour is that we don't have to play them. Yeah. Because it would be super tight, and they could beat us by beating us, if that makes sense. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. It's
close. It's nice and tight, like it.
We've come this far.
Yeah.
What I thought about as well was when we last did the end of rotation stuff, my Purples won that season as well.
Last season.
So it must be a last season thing.
Takes a couple of seasons to get going.
Yeah. Another daunting but exciting end of season. Whoever gets Josh Buxton and whoever is against Josh Buxton, I feel happy for you, but I feel sad if you get him. If you're against him for the first week. And I can almost guarantee it'll be whichever team I'm on, it will be me.
Is he carrying 2 over, is he?
Yes.
Is anyone else carrying any over? I don't think they are.
He's got potential to have carried 2 over and then have 1 banked for the next season week already.
But if he gets it in the first week, that's 3 in 1. 3 in 1.
Yeah, it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He's on for another 25 kg season as well.
Holy shit balls. Fair play.
I'm sure Steve's already writing up the end of report to include his name quite heavily again.
Oh, good, right?
Exactly right.
That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. In the few minutes that we have remaining, unfortunately for the time, I guess we're just going to quickly chat about our guest who is coming up in the. So if you remember to keep listening, we do have an interview as such that Jack managed to grab 20 minutes with our guest.
Yeah.
And basically just listen out for that, basically. Don't leave us. That's what I was going to say.
Hang on, it's well worth a listen. Somebody that's been nominated for an award. He didn't know that he had been even nominated, let alone shortlisted. So yeah, he's a super nice guy and somebody that we'll certainly catch up with, and had an interesting journey and a top guy, so it'd be well worth listening to.
Sweet.
Very good.
Do you want to touch on anything else? We've got a minute or two.
There's got the WWE belts potentially, and the
is
gold
it
stuff
a
are out
winning
of
week?
date. We can run through quickly.
Is it a winning week this week? Is it a
No, it's not
week?
a winning week, but I was just going to do an
Maybe-
update. We don't have to do
maybe
that this
stall
week.
that, I
We will
reckon,
stall that this
for
week,
a
and I'll leave you all
for a long one.
tantalised for the golden boot and such.
Hanging on,
I'll
yeah.
leave that on.
Oh, God,
The
bring
people
in
are going
somebody.
to ask me. So maybe
What?
I think...
What we could do, maybe from now on, is not tell anybody about the golden boot until the awards night.
Yes, that might
So
be an
you
idea.
keep the ball. Carl, the
3
van
weeks.
just got hit by a ball, and we are the furthest point away from the pitch you can imagine.
One of Liam's shots.
Very quickly, in terms of footballing world, obviously Trent, it's been confirmed today by the people in the know that
Trent's
has
off to Real.
agreed a deal to join Real Madrid, which I don't think many people are surprised by, bar probably Liverpool fans. It did make me laugh. We were obviously all together at Christmas and Jordan was there, and he was saying, word is that Liverpool are going to announce on Christmas Day that all 3 of them are going to sign their contract. How many of them have signed their contract so far?
Yeah.
Salah will be off as well, won't he?
Well, Salah's kind of all but said he's going to go, doesn't he, really, on some level?
Yeah.
And
Out of the 3, I'd want to keep Trent, just because of the age and the profile of the player
I
being
think
a
it's
scout.
a shame him going off to Madrid. I've got to be honest. I think it's a shame for the Premier League to lose players like that.
It is, but he's completed it, isn't he? He's won everything.
Yeah.
And he'll win the league again this year.
Yeah.
He'll go out on a high, winning the league, a proper league, not a COVID league.
yeah.
And he's won the Champions League, he's won the FA Cup with them, he's won everything with them. So
Yeah.
I think also something has to be said for more and more players at the top level. While we don't like the idea of them going shipping abroad, we used to complain about the fact that none of them ever used to want to go abroad.
yeah.
You know, when you're turning around to thinking about England, obviously we've just had an international break, and how it could benefit from players playing abroad and coming into the
But
England
that used to be because we didn't have foreign players in our league. But now our league is full of foreign players, so we know their style of play. We know how they play. Every international tournament we go to, we know most of the players because they all play, or not all of them, but a lot of them play in the Premier League.
Going to La Liga for him is an easier thing, though. I think it's an easier league for Madrid to compete in.
There's an element of things like he knows Jude Bellingham, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Very well, and
besties,
things
isn't
like
he?
this.
Yeah.
So he's going to have some comfort already. So even in a small thing, if you had an option to take a job and you knew one of your best mates was there,
And it was in the sun in Madrid.
Yeah, you're probably gonna take that job, aren't you? on some level.
Yeah. Oh, I don't blame him at all. I mean, it's a great
absolutely
move
not.
for him. But at
I'm
the
not
same
sure the
time, I
Liverpool
think
fans are going to be too.
I've already seen
big
posts
rushed.
on Instagram of people setting fire to trench
Have
shirts.
you really?
they don't like it. They don't like
One
it.
thing
mate.
I saw is somebody was like, "Thank God I don't have to defend him being a good defender anymore."
Poor bastard. Yeah.
Poor
my
guy.
heart bleeds for him to go there.
No,
and
unfortunately,
300 grand a
in
week.
theory,
or whatever,
you should have enough people in the fan base who kind of just say, "Look, he was been absolutely brilliant for us. It's a shame he's a
He's
talent
a
from the
local
area,
lad,
but
isn't
a
he?
local lad, and he's leaving, and that's not a good sign for Liverpool per se. But I mean, he's had a great
They've got
run
a
at
great-
Liverpool, and he's having a great career. And let's be honest, most people would understand that you're going to go to basically a Galactico super
They've
team.
got an unreal
Absolute super
replacement
team.
in Conor Bradley as well.
Yeah, and he's
I
brilliant.
think
so-
he is
quality.
actually
And
a defender.
I actually think where that's where Liverpool have got some power on some level, haven't they?
Yeah.
They don't want to break it if they know
Van
they're going
Dijk's
to
a
be
big one to lose, I think, as
Yeah.
your captain, and he's still he had a bit of a dip, I'd say, last season, but he's proven again that he's right up there as one of the best defenders in the league. So
So big news that really, isn't it? Really,
It is,
we'll
yeah.
see. We'll have to come back to have a discussion about England again, but we do
We
it a
will,
lot on the pod,
the
don't
start
we?
of the Tuchel era.
Yeah.
We're happy
Only
discuss.
to say that just
So
statistically
Hendo
speaking,
did come on. Can we just talk about that briefly?
Did he? I didn't.
He came on. He came on.
Did he? What, for how long?
Last 20 minutes or so.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But I was like, why?
Yeah, all right. So he played minutes.
Yeah.
So-
What a shame.
Tuchel
When the
said
game was done, I assume, by the way.
Tuchel said in an interview, he said just needed to talk to him for 2 minutes and realised that I had to have him around the team.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us would agree that makes sense.
I tell
when
you,
have
we've
got
well,
younger,
we've talked
but to
about
actually play
Yeah, well, I was having a discussion because someone was saying to me, basically, Tuchel went in and he asked the staff around the building, and he said, if I had to pick a couple of players you wanted in this squad for the squad, and Jordan Henderson was number one name on everyone's list.
Yeah, I'm not
and so,
surprised.
that does not surprise me at all.
No.
And why would he not have him around? But yes, when we talk about playing minutes, it's a bit like, okay.
But I guess fair play.
I think when it comes to the World Cup, though, he might even be in that squad.
Yeah.
Maybe unfairly, but at the same time, I don't expect him to play many minutes, apart from 10 minutes off the bench in a game that's done in the group stage, you know. Yeah. So, but overall, I was going to say,
still solid.
People say that it's all very much of muchness and it's all very much the same, and we haven't played any teams yet, blah, blah, blah. In 2 games, it's a bit hard to know.
Well, he's won his first 2 games. He's the first manager to do so since Capello.
Statistically speaking, they've been much more... they've been much better in sustaining the ball in the opposition third. And basically passing the ball in the opposition box and crosses have been their main big differences. Tripled numbers, basically.
I'm interested to have this conversation because I think my opinion of it differs to what the stats say.
Yeah, maybe so. And a lot of people who just watch it and they go, yeah, I can understand
stats are a good opening of a conversation, not a finisher of a conversation. So it'd be interesting to see what those stats say and how it contradicts.
Well, we can come back to that conversation
another day because we're out of time, boys.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Please hang on and listen to Tim's interview.
Yeah,
and thank you for listening. And have a great week and see you all Friday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, gents. Right, so I've actually got a guest on the phone now. It's Tim Sadler from Man-v-Fat Gloucester, who has been nominated for the Community Wellbeing Award. He's been with Gloucester since early 2022, and we thought we'd get him on the phone to have a quick chat about why he thinks he might have been nominated and a little bit about him and what he's done to deserve these nominations. So, Tim, how's things? How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thanks. I was playing for the Gloucester, well, we call them Gleavham 11s yesterday, and I'm a little bit sore because I'm in my 40s, but doing pretty well.
Amazing. So you're doing the 11 stuff as well?
Yeah, I've been sort of on and off part of the 11s, pretty much since partway through. I started Man vs Fat, and you know, I sort of played 11s for about sort of 20, 25 years, and I said to myself that when I turned 40, I would stop playing 11s and then get a level. I sort of was invited to join a few vets teams, but I thought I'd try and sort of just go to sort of 5-a-side, 7-a-side, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with Man vs Fat, unfortunately, I enjoyed it so much, and they started an 11s team, so I completely broke my retirement within sort of far too quickly, really. So yeah, back playing 11s, which is fantastic.
Had you made any promises to family members about not doing 11s anymore?
No. These are promises to myself.
Okay.
I've come home with lots of sort of aches and bits and pieces, and you will get sort of chats about me being too old for this, which, you know, you feel it, even if sort of mentally you don't think it is. But no, it's still lots of good fun. Family enjoy it.
We, funny enough, had a game yesterday on the Isle of Wight. So obviously being Man-v-Fat Bournemouth, they're only across the water from us. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because it was a prior arrangement I had. But yeah, the boys went over there and by all accounts gave them a good game. I think we lost 4-3 or 3-2. I think it's 4-3 in the end. So we're still active. We didn't enter the national tournament because there's not a lot of teams really close to us that did it. So we felt like the travel would be a lot. But yeah, we're really kind of ramping up again, and we find that now it's moving into kind of the almost summer months, if that makes sense. With grassroots football not playing, the 3G pitches become more available, so we get a chance to invite some people down instead of travelling here, there, and everywhere for it. So that's great, mate. It's great to hear that you're involved with that as well. So
yeah, and fair weather players like me quite happy doing that when it's nice. And
I always found we still do it now, and so many of the lads that have done exactly as you said, they've played 11-a-sides for such a long time, gone to 7-a-side or not played any football at all before coming back to Man-v-Fat, or coming to Man-v-Fat, I should say. Find that it's a proper baptism of fire, isn't it? When you start playing 11s again, you realise your body notices it first, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aches and pains all weekend.
Yeah, it's the aches and pains, and you have to have a longer bath to kind of sort of warm up your muscles. But what's wonderful is the fact that when I was playing 11s in regular leagues, I was sort of playing against 18-year-olds that would absolutely smoke me for pace.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to sort of be playing people at a similar level of speed that I
It's
am.
a proper leveler, isn't it? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, great stuff. Excellent. So in terms of your journey with Manvy Fat Gloucester, obviously you've been there since early 2022. How have things gone for you, and how did you discover Manvy Fat?
Well, I discovered Man vs. Fat through a friend called Ryan, who's now our coach. So Ryan and I both of our children had forms of cancer. So we knew each other from the oncology wards. And
Right.
I started a male peer support group called Mind the Chaps. So we used to meet up regularly with we call ourselves cancer dads, but it's just sort of like a support group.
Yeah.
And I've known Ryan for years, and I spotted just how sort of, I sort of saw him on Facebook, and he was half the size that he was. And I said, "How have you done this?" And he said to me, "Well, I've Man versus Fat." So it was through Ryan that I was introduced to Man versus Fat. And, it was a time in my life where I'd turned 40, but, this was in sort of, September 2021. And it was very much like, okay, I'm still carrying a lot. Went for loads of walks during lockdown, but clearly I was not sort of exercising enough to cancel out all the cakes and pizzas. So I wasn't physically feeling at my best. And, it was just such an amazing community to be part of. And again, it just takes one person that sort of is involved to sort of, tell you the merits of doing Man versus Fat. And that's how I got involved.
Wow, amazing! There's quite a lot to unpack there. Obviously, you mentioned about where you met him, and obviously the both having children with cancer. I guess what Manvy Fat does as an opportunity is it creates a community of people, not just to play football with, but a community of people that you can kind of share grief with, share problems with. But also share good times with as well, and really support each other. Is that something you found within the community?
Absolutely, and I think it's the camaraderie that's wonderful. And we hear time and time again from lots of people that sort of join Man versus Fat, and it's a case of me personally. I finished 11s, and I was looking for something because I love my football, absolutely adore it, but I didn't have an outlet. And through Man versus Fat, I got to start playing again. But the people that you meet, there was a guy called Brad who I met sort of immediately, and he became one of our sort of player facilitators. And just he was amazing. He was so welcoming to everyone, and he sort of led the way for sort of the rest of us to sort of inspire us to sort of do our best to support each other. And I'm still in good contact with Brad, but it's almost like we're all on the same journey, and we've all got sort of different journeys. I mean, I'm comparatively small compared to, definitely meet the BMI, but I'm comparatively small to some of my sort of friends, and it's almost like I had massive losses in my first months, and then it gets to smaller increments.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter as long as you're kind of exercising, you're having lots of fun and supporting each other. It's absolutely perfect. And there's so many like-minded lads, and it doesn't matter what your background is, which football team you support, where you come from in the country. There are so many like-minded people, and we'll all work hard, and I've had some fantastic battles on the pitch, but there's always a hug at the end of the match, and it's always sort of, if someone's reached a weight loss goal, we're very supportive. If someone scored a hat-trick on the pitch, we're very supportive, and it's almost along the lines of, you'll play hard when you're against each other, but you genuinely want everyone to succeed.
Yeah. Amazing. And for our perspective, and we get the opportunity to speak to lots of people from lots of clubs, I think we believed, or I certainly in my head felt like it was super insular, and it was just us that had that kind of camaraderie. I was thinking nothing else could be competing with this, and how we all are as a group of mates, and how we all are together. But genuinely, everyone we speak to, I've never heard a negative thing about it, and it just makes such a difference. And I think Manvy Fat have stumbled on that we had Richard Crick, the head of Manvy Fat, on, and it's almost my perception is that the idea is that you go along, you play your football, and you lose weight each week. But I think they almost stumbled upon the whole men helping men kind of side of things, and opening up people to to especially blokes, as we well know, that a lot of stuff is kept in and we don't communicate very well with it. We're all getting better, and it's becoming more acceptable and more seen for somebody to be a bloke to be like that. But I think that side of it is almost outweighing the other side, that definitely the football, and almost outweighing the weight loss side of things. It's just a group of blokes that often, as we know, mental health and weight loss go intrinsically linked, and when weight gain is intrinsically linked, and being there to support each other is super important, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm very, very honest with my own struggles with mental health, and, you know, I suffer with anxiety as well. And when people meet me, they people call me Tigger because I'm usually quite sort of bouncy, but they call me other things. I just don't always hear it. But with sort of, you know, it's almost like I'm very, very upfront and honest about sort of how, you know, some days I'll be feeling amazing, other days not so good. And the more you talk about it, it's amazing how many people are in the same situation. And it just means that you can keep your eyes open and you spot when someone's really, really struggling. And you know if that, and the best thing I'm sure you found with sort of men's mental health and mental health in general is early intervention. If you can just kind of get in there early, and I try to do this, and I meet so many people, and it's almost like if you can just kind of get in early and just, how are you? And then when they say fine, then you say, no, how are you actually doing? And sort of just go a bit further. You can sort of try and help people early. And again, it's all sort of everyone's looking after each other, and people spot, you know, if I've had a bad thing. I will do one sort of little anecdote, which is quite funny.
Please do.
But I had a really, really good year, 2002, and sort of we went to New York at Christmas, and sort of, you know, everyone's a bit worried about their January weigh-in. And I came back from sort of, you know, Christmas, and I thought, you know what, I've had a good time. I'm sure I'll put on a couple of pounds or bits and pieces. And unfortunately, the coach said, "Oh wow!" And I kept, what's that? And it turns out that I put on 6 kilos over Christmas.
Okay.
And I was like, what on earth? And suddenly, you know, people were laughing with me about it. You know, I lost it as quickly as I possibly could afterwards. But it's almost like, you know, if anyone's had a bad week, I said, wow, you'll never beat my Christmas gain or something like that. But it's almost like if someone, you know, does have a holiday and they put it on, you know, that doesn't mean it's not going to come off again. So it's almost along the lines of learn to laugh at it to a certain extent, but as long as you're taking action, as long as you're kind of doing the right steps to sort of, you know, get yourself better. I promise I have lost the 6 since then. But it's very much a case of, you know, you're there for the good times and you're there for the not so good times as well.
Of course, that makes, I completely agree. And there's times that I've been anxious about going where I've I've not had a good week, and I've held my hands up before, and where I felt like there's no value in me being there that night. I was only going to hinder the team, not actually help them. There's been times that I've not gone, and I'm well past that side of thinking about it. But I'm sure if I've been like that, I'm sure others, especially newer members, may get that feeling as well. So it's a very good point. And you're right. There's times I think we had this season that we're in now started straight after Christmas, and that's the first time it's landed like that. And that was that it took us half a season just to get rid of Christmas, basically, as a club.
Yeah.
And that these things happen, and I think we're all understanding that you still have to live your lives, and things still happen, and it really is what it is, isn't it? I think it's taking the rough with the smooth and supporting each other when it is rough.
Yeah, and it's almost as if, you know, when some of the times when if I've had, you know, a bit of a gain on the scales, you know, I'm going to make up for it on the pitch. I'll
fair
be
play.
absolutely busted. I get to block everything.
Yeah, I love that. My brother actually plays with me. At one point, I had both of my brothers playing on the same team. With me, but my younger brother plays, and he is a good footballer. And there's times that he's gone up and he's like, I'll just make sure I defend harder or score an extra goal, and inevitably always tends to do it. So I know that feeling for sure as well. Yeah. So in terms of your award, obviously you've not put yourself forward for it. Somebody has very kindly nominated you for the award. So what do you think that may very well be for?
Well, the thing is, you know, like I said to you the other day, it's a case of I've not probed too much to find out who the nomination's from, because again they may want to remain anonymous. But
No, fair
again,
enough.
it's the honour to be nominated, and it's almost like, you know, I think they were saying there's 6,000 nominees for these awards, and to go down to the final 6 for any category that's already a win in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what? I think a lot of it speaks to some of the stuff that I've already said about sort of, you know, you support each other, the camaraderie. I welcome all new players, and I'll just say to them, you know, I'll start telling them about my journey, probably oversharing, but it's very much a case of I want them to enjoy it straight away. I want them to feel that, you know, it's already their home, you know, and they may turn up, they may have the worst game of football in their life and already be feeling pretty lousy. But if you kind of tell them, you know, there's always next week, or you try and give them, and it doesn't matter what team you're on, you know, we're all sort of brothers. It's all going to be, you know, 3 seasons time, you might be on the same team as someone. There's guys on my team from last season. We just had a new redraft, and there's guys I've been with for a few seasons who I absolutely adore. And, you know, if I don't mention my friend Josh, he'll kill me. But it's very much a case of we sort of gutted not to be together, but his journey, it's almost like I'm so happy to see what he's done, because he came to us. He was injured sort of within a couple of weeks, but he didn't leave man versus fat. He contributed off the pitch, and he really, really sort of, you know, I think it was a knee injury, and it was a nasty one. But it's very much a case of he kept on coming up, he kept on losing weight, he kept supporting us, and he was exactly what man versus fat is all about. And, you know, without his weight loss, we wouldn't have won the league, because our pitch results weren't brilliant. But thanks to Josh and others, he really sort of, you know, did the business off the pitch. And kind of, you know, you want to support people like that, to think, actually, do you know what, if that first week doesn't go well, or, you know, 3 weeks in doesn't go well, you just want to make sure that you're giving them as much support. And again, it's lads like that I've sort of forged relationships with. But I think, you know, I think it's about forging relationships with everyone, especially sort of, you know, because you want them to do well. You can be happy for their successes. And I'm hoping that's why they put the nomination down, but certainly that's what I aspire to.
Amazing. It sounds exactly the reason why, to be completely honest, mate. It's that the moment you started speaking about the sort of other clubs and the helping each other and helping other dads, I can tell there's a part of you that's wanting to help and there to help. So that's really good, mate. I'm super impressed. And funny enough, you're actually up against some lads from Bournemouth that do the 23 MPH podcast.
That, yeah.
So what I'll do is,
like it's helping people, so that's wonderful.
Great, absolutely. And what I'd love to do is share your details with them, because you are exactly the type of person that they'd love to have on the podcast and share your story as much or as little as you're willing to, and really give that opportunity for somebody else to hear it. And like you've said, it takes one. If you can help one person with saying one thing, it can make such a difference. And then maybe somebody struggling with something similar to what you struggle with, or what you have struggled with, or what you're going through, that can really make a real difference in somebody's life, can't it?
Oh yeah, definitely give him my details. I'd be delighted to speak to them. But again, it's, you know, if one person shares their story, then more people share their story, and it's going to lift everyone. So yeah, that sounds amazing.
Amazing. Do you plan on going to the awards evening? Have you brought your ticket?
Yes, I have. Yes, my wife will be coming with me. So
amazing.
We're looking forward to the event.
we will meet you there. So me, Josh, and Ben, who do the podcast, we attended last year at Manchester, and obviously where we live, that's quite a way. So we were a little bit happier that it's now London.
That's close.
So we will certainly be there, and I think the 23 MPH lads are coming too. So we'll have to meet up and catch up. But I really appreciate the sort of 20 minutes you've given me now. It's really good to hear from you, and please keep doing the amazing things you're doing. And I hope for your sake that you're right in the mix for the. I don't want to say too much because it upset the 23 MPH lads, but I can imagine you're going to be right in the mix for winning that award, and that would be great to meet you in person.
Thank you. It's been lovely to talk to you. And again, I think we're all winners anyway. And that sounds cheesy, but let's be honest, it's true. So
yeah,
there we go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, mate.
Lovely to speak to you. Thank you, brother.
Cheers again.
Cheers then.
Bye.
Bye.